Yes, all the people who, yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to, and then may I see people's faces just to know I'm not, engineers are smart, so I could be just talking to robots. So let's see. Is it human beings who are behind there? Hello. Hi. Okay. So I see somebody whose first name is Simon.
Hello, this is Simon.
Hi, Simon. Let's see.
Okay.
And then, okay, that's my baby brother. I know his face. And then what happened to the others?
Paul.
Hey, engineers.
Engineer Paul.
Okay, I see a Robert with a cool. Hi.
Yeah, Robert here.
Hi.
Hello, madam. Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yes,
And then
Engineer
M.
Kujo is
Kojo.
here. Engineer Kujo, thanks for coming.
Hi.
You're welcome.
Engineer Mott.
Oh, so that's how we refer to you guys, engineer, so and so. So
Yes,
engineer
we take
Mod,
we take our
engineer.
engineering titles seriously.
Serious. Okay, so engineer Paul, engineer Prince, engineer Samuel, engineer Simon, engineer Robert. Okay, I guess those are the only ones willing to let me see their faces. Let's let's go, and then hopefully one of these days when we get a chance to do a face-to-face, we can add some playing times. I didn't know you guys were wanting play. I would have incorporated a lot of them in what we are doing now. But let me also take my face off and then we'll go into the talking, okay? So let's take a look at the objectives and feel free to stop me if you want. And if you don't have a question, I would ask that you please mute yourself, okay? And then I don't have a problem if you stop me in the middle of the talking, just so that you get everything clear. So we are hoping that by the end of our time together, you will understand what burnout is and the dimensions within what we call burnout. You would understand the unique aspects of burnout for you engineers in ways that are not a reflection of what other professions encounter. Then I'm hoping that in our talk, I would give you resources to help you identify warning signs of burnout in yourself. And then what are some self-care strategies uniquely designed for engineers? And if we have some managers here of organizations, maybe some ideas of what they can do to minimize burnout. All right, let's fly. Okay, so generally when we talk of burnout, we mean when your emotions are depleted and you have a loss of motivation. And this loss of motivation results from prolonged exposure to chronic emotional and interpersonal stresses on the job. And so we all know that your jobs are really stressful. But sometimes what you don't realize is the stresses can deplete your emotions as well. And so I will walk you through how some of these emotional depletion symptoms look like. And then you will answer your own self and ask, am I going through that? Has somebody complained that this is how I act? Okay. It affects a person emotionally, it affects you physically, and it even shows up in the way you behave. So some common characteristics, and this is the first we are coming. So this is like a self-assessment for you. Nobody is going to ask if you go through that. You are going to do your own tests, okay? So do you get ill frequently? Do you have what we call, psychologists, we call blunted affect? It means it feels like your face is straight. When you're happy, nobody can tell. When you're sad, nobody can tell. We call that blunted affect. And then you get frustrated easily. And that times, many times, you feel really helpless and hopeless. And when all these characteristics or signs, they become intense, it can actually cause people to commit suicide. And research points out that individual factors like your personality traits, your family life, can influence how a person gets burnout. But whatever the cause, this burnout can really affect your physical and mental health. The interesting thing is burnout also impairs your personal and professional competence. And when these two are impaired, it means that your productivity is also affected, okay? So normally when we talk of burnout, we have three big classifications. So we have exhaustion, we have something we call depersonalization or mental distancing, and we have something we call personal accomplishment. And I will break that down for you. So when a person is struggling with emotional exhaustion or just exhaustion, if you have loss of energy, you feel constant fatigue, you go to bed and you know that, okay, I'm going to bed tired. Hopefully, when I get up in the morning, I will feel rejuvenated. You wake up and you are tired again. It's like, what is wrong with me? I'm always tired. Okay, so that's the exhaustion piece. Somebody has their thing on. Could you please mute? Otherwise, let me see if I can mute the person. Okay. All right. Then we come to depersonalization. It means a person has this, like a mental distance from your job. There's intense negativity. You have some cynicism. You remember maybe when you got the job 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, you're excited about it. You go to work in the morning, super, super excited. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh God, it's another morning. Do I have to go to work? Ugh. Oh, and you can't wait for Friday to come. Okay. You used to be so idealistic and, oh, I can do this and you can conquer the world. And all of a sudden, you just can't be bothered. You are withdrawn. Everybody is complaining that your attitude is really inappropriate. And that's why we talk about the depersonalization. Then we come to personal accomplishment. So you have a reduced professional efficacy. So the things that you could do in a day, this time, even 2 weeks, you can't accomplish that. You have low morale. You are dissatisfied. You feel like you can't cope. And you have a sense of professional inefficiency. And so I don't know if you guys go through that, but that whole sense of, am I in the right profession? Should I try something else? Why am I so restless? Okay. So, does somebody have a question? David, do you have a question? Engineer David, do you have a question? Okay. So people experiencing burnout are not just simply exhausted, overwhelmed. They have also lost the psychological connection with their work. And if you've lost that psychological connection, then it means that you are not motivated. It affects your identity. Because I like what my brother said about, we are very particular about our title. So your pride is in, I'm an engineer, I'm a civil engineer, I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm whatever the different classifications are. But all of a sudden it's like, I can't be bothered. And that's burnout. So just take a breath and ask yourself, I don't want answers. Are you experiencing any of the signs that I've talked about? So if you took the assessment and your total score was 25 or lower, then we'll classify you as low burnout. If your score was between 25 and 50, you have intermediate or moderate burnout. If your score is 51 and above, you have high burnout. If you do, I will say you should immediately look for psychological support and medical support. Because if you keep ignoring it, it might, strangely enough, it could even lead to strokes. So go for your physical checkup if you realize that your burnout is high, and share these scores with your physician, okay? They may have some support for you. The interesting thing is, I was under the impression you guys were over 100 people, but just 9 of you completed the survey. 3 females and 6 males. While the number was small, I would have really appreciated a larger number. Then we could have done some fancy analysis to give you an idea of what's happening in your heart and in your head. Okay, but when it comes to exhaustion, our males had higher mean scores than the females, which is very consistent with the research out there. When it comes to mental distancing, the female score was whoop, and then the males, while is not as high as the female. That's also very consistent with research. So it means that you feel disillusioned. You are questioning whether you are in the right profession. When it comes to cognitive impairment, again, the female mean score was higher than the male. Emotional impairment, I didn't have enough scores from you guys to do this analysis. So something for you to think about. For me, while I appreciate the statistics with it, I also see human beings behind these numbers. So if our female engineers are struggling with mental distancing and cognitive impairment, men, the cognition.
Abena.
Hey, who is calling for Abena at this time of the evening? Thank you. All right, so if our females are struggling with cognitive impairment, it means the focus they need to be able to do the work effectively is not there. And so if you have any females on your team and you think, you sense they are making errors, they're making errors that they generally not make, then it's very possible they are struggling with some aspects of burnout. So watch out for each other, point it out to them. You can always give them that link. Let them say, hey, I suspect this is what's happening to you, but I could be wrong. This is a link. Do it and let's see your scores. And then now that you know that if a person has 25 or lower is low, 25 to 50 is moderate, 51 and above is high, you can probably recommend that they go and see their physician and tell them that their burnout symptoms are really high. Okay, so watch out for each other. So for you guys, these are some of the concerns you have.
Is it reviews?
Hey, participants,
Yeah, they was yourselves. I mean,
Alberta. Okay, so you guys often work under strict deadlines so that your projects can be completed. And these strict deadlines lead to long hours and high stress. And so these are some of the things you grapple with. You also have what we call problem-solving fatigue. So you're constantly troubleshooting and solving complex problems. So these complex problems can be very mentally exhausting and it can lead to cognitive overload. So too much thinking affects you. Your work also needs a higher level of precision, more than a teacher's work probably. And so there's the need for accuracy and attention to detail, which means that even the minor mistakes can have significant consequences. And so the pressure on you is really high. For many of you who are involved in independent work or working with machines rather than people, you have the tendency of being isolated in your workplace, and that can lead to social isolation. Engineers also might not see the immediate impact of their work. And so, hey, if I'm cooking and I know I'm making soup, I'm making groundnut soup, I have an idea that within an hour I should be done and I should see it. For some of you, the work you do, you don't see the immediate impact. And so if you are not seeing that, if you are not careful, it might be very demotivating. It's like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it might feel like you don't see any end in sight. Some engineers too, especially those who are software engineers, really work remotely. And so it makes it hard to separate the work and personal life. So if I'm working remotely and I don't have the discipline to say after this time I can't, sometimes it might not even be discipline. It's just the nature of your work. And so you struggle to separate your personal life from your professional life. And then there are others too who sit for long hours or for those of you who stand for long hours, that can take a toll on the body, causing physiological strain. So these are some of the challenges that you guys go through. This is in no way an exhaustive list, but these are some of the things that I think cut across for many of you engineers. I suspect there are people on this webinar who are not engineers, but I think you can all find yourself in one of these unique aspects of burnout. And since we are talking about these, then I believe that if we find the interventions, you pick the one that works for you and you run with it so that you can take care of yourself, okay? So what are the early warning signs? How do you know? Maybe you haven't experienced it yet, but if you are having physical and mental exhaustion, remember I mentioned that you go to sleep tired, you wake up tired. Your brain feels like it's in a fog, okay? Like your brain is tired. You have lowered immunity, so you fall sick more often. There are times, because of the stigma related with some of these things, we don't even admit it. But if you realize you're popping a lot of pain meds often, or you need medication to sleep, or you sleep early, or you sleep and you can't stay asleep for long, you wake up often, you may be struggling with it. What many people in workshops, the mistake that we make is we assume, oh, I have headaches, so it means I have burnout. No, you should have between 2 to 3 of these symptoms consistently for me to say, oh, those are symptoms of burnout. And because if you have back pain, it could be you stand a lot or you sit a lot. That's a normal thing. If you have muscle aches, maybe you are working out, it's the beginning of workout for you. That's normal. But if it's connected with physical exhaustion and mental exhaustion, lowered immunity, then I will be concerned. Have you noticed any change in appetite or sleep habits? Are you either eating too much or too little? Are you sleeping too much or too little? Do you have impending dread about work? If you have to go and do work, or you open your email and then the first reaction is your heart just drops inside your belly. Are your loved ones saying that, why are you angry these days? What is it that the small thing takes you off? Or are you even noticing that the excitement you used to have for work is no longer there? What about feeling trapped in your work? Feeling helpless, like you can't do anything about it? Feeling defeated? For some people, it comes up as they procrastinate. So the things that they could do in a shorter amount of time, it's like, okay, I'll do it. And then they'll find some other distraction, come back, okay, I'll do it. And then they wait till the deadline is almost to their noses before they just crunch, and then they compound these burnout symptoms. So should I continue or do I have a question there? Because I'm going to be talking about self-care. What is it you need to do to take care of yourself if you notice that you are going through some of these symptoms? So self-care, we normally define self-care as the process of...
Okay, Madam Resource Person,
yes.
I just wanted to chip in this. In fact, whilst you've been talking, I have been trying hard to find out whether I have 1 or 2 or 3
symptoms.
These symptoms. I don't appear to have any.
Okay.
But I believe that I am a workaholic.
Okay.
So the question I want to ask is, so can there be a tendency where I am not having these symptoms, but I'm burning out anyway? Or my system is just waiting for one day to shut down?
Rush, very possible. Very possible. I think when we go through the self-care plan, we'll figure out if you are taking care of yourself in a way that's adequate for you. Because there are times you feel like, well, I'm excited about my work. I don't feel helpless. I don't procrastinate. I don't have any bodily pains. I don't get sick. I'm not tired. And then we go through the self-care and you realize, oh, my social connection is not good, or I don't know how to manage stress well, or I'm not taking good care of my physical well-being. So while you may not be having these burnout symptoms, then when we talk of the self-care, you tell yourself, okay, it looks like this particular one I'm doing well, but this one I'm not doing well. So now you incorporate that into what you need to do. Does that make sense? Engineer Rabiru, are you there?
I'm here. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other question from anybody? All right, we'll go on and then feel free to stop me, okay? So self-care is establishing behaviors to ensure that your well-being is holistic. So you promote your health, you actively manage illness when it occurs. It's the ability of both individuals and families, as well as communities, to promote health, to prevent diseases, to cope with illnesses and disabilities with or without the support of a health worker. Okay, so without a doctor present, can you take care of yourself? And some of the things we do is to set clear boundaries. So you have to define your work hours and stick to them, especially for those of you who do remote work, including me. Avoid checking work emails after hours. How many of us are guilty of doing that? Now, time management and task prioritization. So we can use time blocking techniques. And if you're comfortable with that, I can share some with you later on to manage workload effectively. So when we talk of time blocking is a management technique where you schedule specific blocks of time for particular tasks or activities. The young ones these days believe in, oh, we have to multitask. But multitasking, if you're not careful, you end up not achieving anything. But what time blocking does is, if it's 1 hour every day that I use for this, I don't check my emails till this time. And then I focus on this one. Then I set a timer. And when the time goes, then I stop what I'm doing, get up and move a little. That also helps your physical well-being. And then I come back for 2 hours and sit down, or 1 hour and sit down. And then tell myself, I'll set an alarm every hour that the alarm goes off, I'll get up and move for 5 minutes and then come back. Okay, so time management and task prioritization. Some also would need to do mindfulness and stress management, and I will walk through that with you, I think, in the next slide. Ensure your physical well-being. How often are you going for physicals? Social connection and support. Some of us, I think, for many of the places where I have workshops, it looks like that is one high that many Ghanaians do very well. But my question is the social connection your way of avoiding just being by yourself, or your way of avoiding being at home? Are those social connections connected with hobbies or creative outlets, or is it because we are all going from one funeral after the other and then we drink? And so what are we doing even in those social connections that are enhancing our well-being? And then regular reflection and professional growth is also part of that well-being. So when we talk of, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. When we talk of mindfulness. Yes, sir. Did you have a question? Did somebody have a question? Okay. All right. I thought someone said. Anyhow, so mindfulness means doing deep breathing, and then when I finish with the slide, I will actually practice it with you and watch everybody do it. That's when you turn on your video. So if you are not dressed in a way that makes it safe for you to turn on your video while I'm talking, put on something wholesome, and then we'll come back to it, okay? All right, so physical well-being means incorporating movement into what you do, maybe stretching every hour or using a standing desk. And for field engineers, make sure you have proper ergonomics, hydration, rest periods, and social connection. Sometimes the work we do when we are, for those of us who are perfectionists, it might be hard to incorporate teamwork, but teamwork also helps you maintain social connection. It's also very important that you find a mentor or support group for engineering professionals like what you guys have here. And then engage in non-work activities that bring joy, like music, art, sports. So I think in the past year or two, I am intentional about finding friends who are not psychologists, because I realize many of my friends are in that field. It's like, no, I want people who can talk normal talk instead of all this psychological thing. So I don't know about you. Are all your friends engineers? Do you end up talking engineering even when you're supposed to have a downtime? Okay. And then for professional growth and regular reflection, periodically assess your job satisfaction and personal goals. Because if you don't, then it means you go, 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 go. It's like a car that is going without any checks. You don't check your oil, you don't check your water, you don't check your brake fluid, all those liquids within the car. You don't check your tire rotation, you don't check your brake pads. One day you'll be on the road and you realize the car goes, yeah, I'm done. Okay. And then seek opportunities to learn and upskill without overloading yourself. So a year ago, one of my sons-in-law decided to teach me how to use Canva. And I've always said I'm not too creative. So it's fun learning, using a software that does the creativity for me. It's different from the kind of work I normally do. So once in a while, I will design a flyer or design a business card just to tell myself I'm doing something different, okay? So these are some examples. When you see this, these are all personal pictures. So this is me playing ampe on the beach with my master's students. Somebody will say, is that why they paid money to go to school? But they are studying and they had studied so hard. So I was like, we have a whole beach at our disposal. Let's just go and play. And for many of these people, some of them are pastors. They hadn't had an opportunity to do that for years. So by the time we finished, we sat in the sun, we played with the ocean. And then when they studied, that day was like magic. Okay. But many of us, we take life too seriously. This is us doing foot wraps. I don't even know where this is, but it was a necessary demonstration. So we did foot wraps. This, for those of you who decide you don't need any human being, I wonder if that is even possible. You learn to hug yourself. So this is us teaching clients how to hug themselves. And when you're hugging yourself, you have to put your head on one side of the shoulder. That's like a dadabi kind of hug. This, when you have someone you can hug them, because when you hug somebody, it releases some hormones within you that allows the body to relax. This, we're doing a weird, I think we had to turn the phone inside out or something and do a these are seemingly silly things, but it allows you to let down your hair. Otherwise, the stresses in the society and in the community will kill you. If you're not careful, every family member wants to take a piece of you. And so the question we ask is, when do you take care of yourself? When do you give yourself permission to just be? Okay. So in talking about self-care, we normally deal with 5 main self-care practices. We have physical, social, mental, spiritual, and emotional. So applying self-care practices may look different for everyone. There's no one size fits all, but it's the conscious act of inviting quality time for yourself that matters. And come on, aren't we all worthy of taking care of ourselves in a healthy manner? Because it reflects and impacts our loved ones as well as our work productivity. Okay, there are times we feel like, I don't want to slow down because there's so much to do. But you gain the strength and positive energy to drive forward in high gear. You deserve to feel good. You are worthy of quality time for yourself and others. And so what does all these things mean when you are doing physical self-care? So mind-body connection is real. You may not believe it, but it is real. When you're caring for your body, you will think and feel better. Physical self-care includes how you are fueling your body. So what you eat, what you drink, how much sleep are you getting? Is there noise in your environment? Because I know that a lot of our communities have people who have bars in there, and they won't hide their bars too. They make so much noise, and so your brain is not getting the adequate rest in the night. And many Ghanaians will say, I don't want to go and complain before they will say I'm a witch. But if you don't do it, it affects you in ways you can't even imagine. And so just telling yourself, I have to schedule regular medical visits. Go take care of your physical health. Are you getting adequate sleep? Is your diet fueling your body well, or are you just loading yourself with carbohydrates? Are you taking charge of your health? Are you getting enough exercises? Then social self-care. You know, we are not meant to live in total isolation, no matter the kind of work you do. Everybody needs the social connection. So at times it can be hard to make time for family and friends with our busy schedules. But close connections are very important for our well-being, okay? So there are some fun things you can do. You can watch a movie with friends. You can call a parent. You can have dinner with someone special. You can, okay, I have a confession. You can have family game night. You can volunteer for a cause that is important to you. So yesterday I went to visit friends. I knew I needed to review some research work, but a friend of mine had come from the north, and I just decided, you know what, I am going to run away from work a bit. And because generally my face is in the computer. So we watched movies, and then we talked, and then we talked some more, and then we watched some more cartoons. I love cartoons. And my friend also loves cartoons. So we just talked and watched and watched and watched. And then by the time I was going to bed, it was after 11. It's like, shoot. For somebody who sleeps between 8 and 9, I could stay up late. Of course, I woke up and then I realized, man, the body is old. You can't use it like that. But it's one of those things, you know, the social connection was, I finished and I feel satisfied. I feel like if I hadn't had that yesterday, I wouldn't be so hyped up for my connection with you today. So what kind of connections are you having for yourself? What about mental self-care? Do you know that human beings have about 6,200 thoughts in every single day? So these are thoughts that are coming all the time. And your self-talk can affect how you think and feel about yourself. It's also important to stimulate your mind with mental activities. So practice self-compassion, choose positive thoughts, reduce the TV and the radio. Many times they don't really tell us anything positive. So it's the news over and over, and it just sucks your energy. Okay? Choose kindness, learn something new. Just protect what you hear, protect what you watch. It's not everything you should see, it's not everything you should hear. Protect some of these things, because in a way, our body has a way of keeping what we feed it. And so protect your body by protecting your ears and your eyes, okay? Then we have spiritual self-care. So nurturing your spirit, it doesn't always have to involve religion, even though it is. For some it does. So anything that helps you develop a deeper sense of meaning, understanding, connection with a higher power. So if you're a religious person, hey, go for it. For some people, their connection with church enhances the spiritual and the social self-care. So do it. If you are not, try meditation, being in nature, self-reflection. Just know that sometimes when it's too much self, it can go haywire. All right. And our last one is emotional self-care. So it's important to have healthy coping skills to deal with uncomfortable emotions. Anger is good, but if it goes beyond a certain level, then you know that you are messing with your emotions. Anxiety, the small amounts help you to do things well. Sadness is inevitable. We lose loved ones, we lose expectations and all that. But if you don't have healthy coping skills to deal with these things, it will just go haywire and take you into really dark places. Okay? So you can talk to a friend, or you can just journal your feelings. You can, so in mindfulness practice, we say, feel your feelings without judgment. So, it looks like I'm feeling really tense in my body. And then just let it go. The way the trotro driver spoke with me today made me really angry. So angry that I wanted to punch him in the face. No judgment. You just let it slide. Somebody will say, but what will it do? Does it have to do something? You are just putting a name to your emotions. Set boundaries. Sometimes we are socialized into thinking that I'm looking for who the person is on its own. We are socialized into thinking we can't say no. But sometimes saying no means you taking care of yourself. Okay, so when can I say no in a way that helps me take care of me so that I will be healthy enough to take care of others? Okay, by taking care of ourselves, we end up gaining strength and positive energy to drive forward. Sometimes taking a step back is all we need to feel an inner balance, happiness, and a peace of mind. Listen, you are worthy of quality time for yourself. If you don't take anything from this evening's interaction, just remember I said you are worthy of quality time for yourself and with others. You are worthy of quality time for yourself and with others. Okay? All right. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right. So what can employers do? So that's what I call employers' intentionality in self-care. So employers can set realistic workloads and deadlines. So if you have an employer who is not doing that, see if you can come together as a team and say, hey, would want to avoid excessive overtime and ensure project timelines are reasonable. So what is realistic for all of us to do? Use flexible project management to distribute work evenly. Encourage time off and please ensure that engineers actually take their vacation. There are some people who will take vacation here and end up going to do locum somewhere else. That doesn't help anybody, okay? And then promote a healthy work culture. So recognize and reward engineers for their contribution. Sometimes people are making an effort, not necessarily an output. So recognize that. Foster a culture where asking for help or admitting challenges is safe. Last I checked, none of us is a god and none of us is an angel. And so there will be times that you can't do everything. And so ask for help. There's nothing wrong in saying, I don't know this. Could you help me? What's the worst that can happen? Somebody will laugh at you. Yeah, but after that, they will help. Okay. Reduce unnecessary meetings and allow more focused work time. Oh, when I was in academia, that's one of the things I used to struggle with. When I'm supposed to teach, that's when they call me out to go have meetings. We have just 24 hours in the day. So if I'm going for a meeting at 10 and the one who is supposed to chair is coming at 11, you've wasted my 1 hour already. When do I get time within the same 24 hours to go back to class and teach again? Okay, so as much as possible, let's see if we can reduce unnecessary meetings. And then provide autonomy and flexibility. Allow your engineers to have some control over their tasks and work method. Avoid micromanagement, okay? So provide clear goals and trust that they will do the right thing. And then support their professional growth. Offer mentorship programs. Train them. Let's assume you feel like every time I train people, they will leave. Eventually, somebody will stay. Allow engineers to work on passion projects sometimes. It's not every time that they have to do, this is the task, stick to it. Okay, and then encourage work-life balance. Set clear boundaries. So if you say this is a time when nobody can check their emails, don't also send them emails at that time. Because then when they don't check it, then it's like, hey, you are lazy. No. Provide wellness programs, mental health resources, or even on-site relaxation spaces. There are some companies that have gyms in there, or they have somebody coming to do massages for them. Hey, if that's possible, go for it. Make sure engineers feel heard and valued. So I appreciate what you guys are doing today. So reduce unnecessary bureaucratic work, promote cross-functional teamwork to break isolation, and then monitor and address burnout. Conduct anonymous surveys to assess their stress levels. And then you train your managers to be able to recognize burnout signs, provide employee assistance programs or mental health support. And when all these things are in place, listen, there's more to life than just money. So when we have these resources in place, if it's possible, it helps people feel like, oh, they hear us and they see us. And you'd be amazed at the level of productivity that can happen in the workplace. So I will take any questions we have, and then when I finish, I will stop the screen sharing and then give you one or two mindfulness exercises for you to practice and to take home with you. Okay? Questions? Questions? Concerns? Yes, Engineer Samuel.
Okay, thank you very much for the what you've shared with us. I think it's really going to change our mindset on certain things and how we work. Now, my question is, I've gone through, or let's say I've followed you keenly, but I didn't see where the burnout is connected to our sex life. Can you help us in this area?
Okay, I think so. There's more to sex than just the actual coitus. Sex stems from intimacy. And so if you have a partner that hears you, if you have that social connection, so it's emotional and social self-care. If you have a partner that cares about you and you come home, I call it feeling home within your partner. Okay, so it might not even necessarily be sex. They just hold you. And that makes you feel like the world is okay. There are times you can just have sex with AC, with Amma, and it's just the act. You feel like you have power, but you end up feeling like you've lost something. So sex could either be a burnout enhancer or a burnout reducer. It depends on the level of intimacy and what's happening in that intimate space. Does that make sense?
Let me say it makes sense, but yeah, it makes sense. But you see, sometimes maybe all the engineers here will bear with me that if you have in a month, if you have maybe too much workload, and then especially when you work outside, maybe your home region, by the time maybe you go during the end of the month, as it were, to have time with your family, and in one way or the other, you might try to have some kind of intimacy with your wife or your partner. You see, by the time you say Jack, you might not have that strength, as it were, to do the do. You get my point?
Yeah.
And then in that situation, is there any acceptance with regards to that?
Oh, I would ask you plenty questions. So, these are times when you need honest conversations with your partner. What kind of work are you doing that makes you so exhausted? What else can we do to, again, it comes to intimacy. What can we do before you even get home? How often do you call her? Does she feel you, even with the space there? Because, hey, there are some people who have cross-continental relationships and it works. So I would recommend that you have honest conversations with your partner, because Engineer Samuel is not always about sex. It's more about intimacy. I don't know. Hey, you all here, can somebody help? Because I suspect some of you are also struggling with that. So what can we do? What can we do? Engineer Kojo, you have your hand. Are you speaking to this or is it a different question? Engineer Kojo, you have your hand up.
Yes, please. I'm sorry, I had to. Okay.
Are you speaking to this issue or a different one?
No. I have
A different question. Give me a minute. I wanted us to settle with Engineer Samuel's question before. So will I get any help on this platform? What can we do if sexual intimacy is not happening well because of distance and because we come home when we are all already exhausted? What has helped for some of you? Engineer Rajiro, are you going to bail me out?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that can be done is actually to take some time off. The truth of the matter is that when you are stressed, the body is stressed, the mind is stressed. Both are required in intimacy. So we need to be able to take time off to get both of them rested. So you can consider going on a short vacation. In fact, these days we even have daycations.
Oh.
You can actually plan and take a daycation or a 2-daycation. Take the weekend off, change the environment, go somewhere else where there's no stress, and the environment is in such a way that it enhances your intimacy, and then you will be relaxed. In fact, truth of the matter is that I'm telling you, I am a workaholic. I am working all the time, and I'm sure a lot of us here find ourselves as engineers, these things do not come to mind. So it will have to be deliberate.
Yeah.
It will have to be deliberate. It will not happen because we wish it could happen. It will have to be deliberate. I don't know whether my good friend works in the mines, but I know the engineers in the mines are really, really, really stressed.
Yeah.
You know, the engineers in the mines are really, really stressed. So it would be a good idea to find some time. In fact, rest. Find some time to rest. Maybe take leave, and then during the leave, you can go on a vacation or education or something, and then use it to revive your senses, and then you will see that you are normal. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. I mean, let's try this natural thing. Just distress before you try medicines or any other kind of thing. Just be normal. Drink some water. Go out. Walk.
Let somebody
Enjoy.
take care of the kids a bit, and then go somewhere with your wife.
So, and then something to take your mind off all of these things, and then you realize that you've returned to normalcy. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Switch the phones off for a bit. Nobody will die in your absence. Go, you don't have to travel outside the country. We have beautiful places in Ghana. Go to the next village where you can't even get network, and just spend time talking, holding each other. Engineer Sambo, can I go to the next person now?
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
Thank
Satisfied with the submissions. Thank you.
Thank you. Engineer Kojo?
In fact, Madam Resource Person,
Yes.
let me. I think that at branch 1 at GHIE, the truth of the matter is that our experience is we have even organized socializations and members didn't come.
Oh.
Interestingly, members contributed to the money that we decided to contribute, and we didn't come. And I just want us to use the opportunity to just come round. Socialization is healthy for all of us. Sometimes I don't blame us. This is coming all the way from when we were at the university. Engineering took away the social life. You know, I did mechanical engineering. I never had time to go and play football. I didn't play volleyball. It was assignment, class, exam, assignment, class, exam. But we cannot have this going forward. Our lives have changed. We work, we have families, we have children. Otherwise, what we are going to do to the children is even far more damaging than what the university did to us. Can you imagine having a child that has no social life, doesn't love anyone, all he wants or she wants to do is to learn and become another engineer after your image? That is going to be bad. So I'm encouraging all of us. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to do some of these things. We are stressed. And these days, engineers are dying. Yesterday,
they're dying when they are young.
Yes. Yesterday, I heard one died in his chair. He left home and went to work and died in his chair. And that's why I was asking the initial question that I don't feel all the symptoms of burnout. But the question is, should I go on at full throttle every day? And the answer is actually no.
No.
The answer is to make sure that I perform, and yet I take care of myself. If you die today in your chair, somebody else will come and change the chair and come and sit in your place.
Yeah.
So I'm urging all of us to take cue.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Engineer Kojo.
Okay, thank you so much. My question is very simple. This is the question. Please, if you discover that you are burned out, this one is not Mattis burnout. This one is gas open burnout. You are burned out. What do you do?
Don't run away. Stay with me. We went through self-care symptoms. So let's assume it is you. I'm not saying it's you. We are making an assumption, okay? We went through all those self-care things. What is it you are not doing well for yourself? That you think, okay, this one I can immediately start. Because burnout affects different aspects of your life. And so self-care has to do with social, emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. So which one do you think, oh, I'm not doing this well, so I can, because sometimes it starts from just saying no to too many projects. So what do you think you can do? Engineer Kojo?
Well, I have tried a number of things. I've joined clubs, hoping to socialize and all that. But I suspect my mental is from
I didn't hear you completely. You said you suspect your what? No, you may have to type it for me because when you talk, it's like you are doing a slow motion. So maybe take the video off and or type it.
Okay.
Yes,
Please, can you hear me?
rent.
Yes.
You mentioned rent issues, rent.
Rent. Okay.
No. I've not mentioned rent.
Oh,
I
okay.
said work related.
Work related.
Yes.
Okay. So work related, and now we know that you can do physical health things. So I don't think anybody works for 24 hours. So what is it you need? Because the first thing for many of you would need an accountability partner and tell the person of the 5 self-care things. I think there's one I can just start working on, and that means my physical self-care. And physical self-care for me will mean taking a 15-minute walk every morning from 6 to 6:15. Taking that walk outside so I can smell the natural air. And it might mean that's it. Just start with that. Start with that for a month. 2, you realize that automatically you are increasing the number of minutes you're walking. Maybe in the walking, you don't have to listen to the news. Just watch the environment, watch the leaves, pay attention to the birds that are singing. Because somebody sat in the chair and died. We don't know who the next person is. Unfortunately, death doesn't send us memos for you to know I'm coming for you tomorrow. So if we are hearing some of these things, I think we are responsible for putting the necessary things in place to take care of ourselves. Engineer Kojo, does that make sense?
Yes, please. It makes a lot of sense. But I'm wondering if that guy died because of work-related or health-related issues.
We don't know.
For me,
but
for me,
burnout leads to that.
For me, I have contemplated even resigning, even if I don't have a job, go and sit at home. But
It
then
means this is
I have
really
to think that,
stressful for you.
oh yes,
Is it
sometimes I have
possible
to
for
drag
you to
myself.
reduce the workload?
It's not about the work. It's about the environment.
Ah.
It's not really about the work. So I've just been wondering.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do some side jobs and see if
yeah, that's a good option. Yeah.
Yes, and then when I don't have to depend on somebody for a livelihood, maybe I wouldn't be burning out.
Some work environments too are very toxic. And if you're not careful, just the environment alone, the moment. So I worked in a particular place that anytime I got to work, I had to sit in the parking lot for a long time before I had the courage to get out of my car. I was like, oh, this is not healthy. And so I think that's when I started putting on weight. I was always internal. So it wasn't that I was eating a lot, but the stress, it's not a pleasant feeling at all. At all. At all. Thank you for sharing that, Engineer Kojo. Engineer Robert, yes, your hand is up. Engineer Robert.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. My question is, I want to find out if stress has some kind of relationship with aging, because for me, I do a lot, but I hardly feel I'm stressed up. So that is one. And the second comment is, I will please request that next time when we are doing set things like this, the institution should allow us to push welcome some people in, because such like this will be very supportive to our spouse and other people we work closer to. Thank you.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. But well, I thought they opened it up. So if your spouse is around, this is online, so they can sit by you while you listen to this. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And if they are close by, they can also ask their questions. And your first question, I haven't found any literature that demonstrates a correlation between aging and stress. It's possible it's there. I haven't read that yet. But if I'm going to guesstimate, I could say maybe the older you get, the more you feel the responsibilities on you are increasing. And so it's likely you are going to have increased stress. Or the other side of it will be the older you get, the more likely you've seen life. So it's like, hey, what's the worst that can happen? So you relax. I don't know which way it will go for you. I don't know. Does your partner have a question for me, Engineer Robert? Okay. Any other question or concern or contribution from anybody? I think I've seen 3 females on this platform. Any question from you ladies? Or do you also experience what the gentlemen experience? How different or similar are your experiences?
Madam, I think they are preparing their questions, so we can
Okay.
proceed. But I just did a search and I realized that there's literature linking stress
Yes,
to
and
aging.
age. Okay, what does it say?
Well, I didn't read it. I just established the link, so I may have to read the papers.
Okay.
But I see my friend Engineer Felix
Okay.
has raised his hand. So
Engineer Felix?
Yeah, Felix.
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, I wish I had logged on earlier to get a full webinar. I think I missed a bit of it. Madam, I don't know whether you have spoken about this, but what can you say about sleeping and the stress and how sometimes you want to sleep? I mean,
But
you
you
know,
can't.
sleep is what would just heal you of all the stress.
Okay.
But you can't just, in fact, sometimes you are asleep and your mind remembers something, you wake
You
up.
have to get up. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, do you have some advice on something like
I
how to
actually
be?
have an intervention for all of us.
Yeah, okay.
We have something we call box breathing. You know, we were naturally wired to breathe from our belly or do what we call diaphragmatic breathing. But because of the stresses with our lives and the work we do, we end up breathing from our chests. Okay, let me adjust my screen a little. So when we are doing that box breathing, you are imagining having like a box in front of you, and then you take in a deep breath, counting 4 seconds. Okay, so deep rhythmic breath for 4 seconds to one end of the box. You hold your breath for 4 seconds to the other end of the box. You release it through your mouth for 4 seconds, and then you come down, and then you hold it again for 4 seconds. I'm going to do it with you, and then anybody who is comfortable, just notice that when you are doing these exercises and you're in a comfortable place, if you're not careful, you'll go off to sleep. So if you do it many times, what happens is it allows oxygen to flood your brain and it calms your body down. Okay, Ekuya, I will answer your question when I'm done with the exercise. Okay, that's a really good one. So I'm going to take in a deep rhythmic breath through my nose, hold it, and then release it through my mouth, hold it, and then go again. I'm going to do it like 3 times, hoping that you will watch it. And for those of you who have younger kids, I will teach you the kiddie version of it when I'm done, okay? So for Engineer Felix, if you realize, whoa, I can't sleep, my brain is in overdrive, try this about between 6 to 10 times. And then if you do it rhythmically while you are laying flat in your bed, you realize that before you even get to the 7th, you've gone off to sleep. Otherwise, you wake up and then you just keep imagining, where is this and where is that? Oh no, do I need to get up and go and write something? That's not healthy. For those of you with kids in the house, tell them when you get a bunch of flowers, what do? You hold and then you sniff. So, and that's enough for any child to be emotionally regulated. And then what sound does a snake do? And that's breathing out for them. Okay, so whenever a child, mommy, and daddy, it's like, okay, all right. You are upset about something. Now, if I give you a bunch of flowers, what do? So make sure you practice it with them before they get into that hypervigilant mode. That way, when you do, their brain can immediately remember, and then they will just sniff. And then what sound does the snake do? And then they'll say, by the time they're on the 3rd one, they are laughing so much that their emotions are regulated. And if you're a playful adult like I am, I don't want to do the adult box breathing. So I do the flower and the snake. And then I can laugh at myself and just relax in the process. So that's something you can do. Another thing with this deep breathing, we do something we call body scanning. So it's like you are scanning your body mentally. Ask yourself, what's happening in my head? Is my head too tense or filled up with things? As you take in a deep, refreshing breath, you blow that, imagine blowing that in the jumbled up brain. And then you come to your neck. Do I feel tension there? Do I need to shake it a bit as I breathe in and then breathe out that freshness onto my neck? What about my chest, my stomach, my waist, my legs? So you're scanning the whole body and then breathing down. It might look like, what kind of psychobabble is this? But it works. Okay, so deep breathing, and then you take it up to body scanning. And then you can either do the adult box breathing or you do the kiddie version of flowers and snakes. Okay, all right. Let's see if I can take some. Does menopause contribute to burnout? I think so. I think so, because it feels like our emotions get heightened when we are in menopausal state, because things are not working like they used to work before. You are easily irritable, and it might look like some of the menopausal symptoms are connected to burnout symptoms. And so if you realize I'm not sleeping well, I'm not moving well, I'm always in pain, I will suggest you see your physician first, and then you look for 2 or 3 friends you can trust to hold you accountable. Is it that we need to go walking regularly? Is it that we need to do dancing, simple Zumba dance to just get the body moving again? But if we are not intentional, so our mothers went through hot flashes and all those things, and they didn't have the resources to take care of themselves. Now we go through hot flashes, but we have the resources. So learn to talk to somebody, because a burden shared is half salt. Okay. Oh, do you guys hear me? Because Engineer Richard is saying he can't hear me. Does anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So
Very clear.
okay. So thankfully we are recording this. So those who had intermittent sound hicks can always listen to it. Okay. All right. So I think I've addressed Engineer Queer's question. Any other question or concern?
Well, this is just a little aside. I'm still on the aging thing. I don't know whether the presidency is very stressful, but I think I saw our President Kufuor's hair grew grey. And recently our president's hair has also grown grey. I didn't see that of President Akufo-Addo. I didn't see any hair there, but well, you can check. In fact, I've started growing grey these days. It has started in my beard, so I'm sure that there's the link. I'm sure if each of us checks, we'll see that the stress levels are making us grow faster. That's a little aside.
So I think I noticed that with President Obama. The moment he became a president, within less than 6 months, his hair was white. And there was a place I worked in that I had more gray hairs than before within a short time. And then when I left the place, the gray hairs stopped coming. So maybe these are things you should pay attention to. Pay attention to your own hairs. Is your hairline receding more than normal? Is it because of the stress? Is any part of your body not working like it used to work? Are you sleeping in a weird way? Many of you, I suspect, are struggling with insomnia. You're either not sleeping well or you're not sleeping enough, or both. So pay attention to that. Okay. Engineer Ribeiro, I think your people are done.
No, I'm not done, please.
Okay.
You still not answered my question.
Is it the plantar fasciitis one?
Yes. When I wake up and step down, I have to hold things or just small before the pain ease out. And I'm wondering, is it old age or what is causing it?
That's
or
why I sent you a message and I said, I don't know. If you get answers, please let me know, because I'm also struggling with the same thing. But one of the things I find helpful is, again, this is also self-care. Every house has Nkuto. Okay, so every evening when you take your bath, just before you go to bed, just rub a little in your hand and massage your feet, because
please, that's what I do.
Yeah, our feet.
I use it morning and evening. No,
yeah.
Under my foot, my knee, my waist, my back, my hip, my neck.
Are you rubbing it in like massage, or you're just
the foot there I rub and massage? But please find answers for the old ladies. Why? I beg you.
Join the club, sister, because I'm going through the same thing. The same. I will find some answers. Because I also, this morning I could barely step on my on my leg. And so I always have this heel brace that I'll wear. And then my friend who came to visit decided she was going to rub my feet. And she rubbed it like massage, deep massage, till by the time she was done after 15 minutes, I could step on my feet again. So I don't know if it's the kind of work we do or the way we sit or the body just growing old and so getting heavier. I have no idea. I have no idea. And an interesting question from Engineer Richard. How fast can stress kill? It depends on your body mechanism. Some people, it kills them in 24 hours. For some people too, you can live with it for a long time before it kills you. But if you notice that you are experiencing stress, please speak with somebody and let them, because sometimes in our heads, we know what to do, but we just I can't be bothered. It's like, it's too exhausting to make a change. And so you need an accountability partner or a buddy to say, you know what, I want to speak the truth to you in love. This is not healthy. Now I'm going to call you every morning to make sure that you walked. And a person who can push you like that, you don't take them for granted. And so you allow them to help you, take care of you. Okay? We came to meet stress, leave it behind. Don't let's allow
Okay.
it to kill us.
Madam Chair, I think that perhaps we said something earlier. We cannot reverse death. It's irreversible. And it's important to know the stress symptoms. I think we talked about them earlier.
Yeah.
These days, we also have wearables, wearables that give you an indication of your stress levels. These days, also, the stresses are, I don't know, I stand to be corrected, but symptoms like pressure, high blood pressure,
diabetes,
and diabetes, and all of these things are linked to stresses. They are linked to stresses. In fact, if you get diabetes and some of the diseases, one of the things they are asking you is about your work-life balance. And they would make sure that you are sleeping early. In fact, it becomes part of your regime. You would have to sleep early. You would have to cut off some of your activities. You would have to look at your diet and all of those kinds of things. And the rate at which it can kill somebody, like you said, is also dependent on the individual. Every individual has a certain threshold, and we do not really know our stress thresholds.
Yeah.
And I think that is why we have emphasized that instead of focusing on on the extremes, I think we can focus on just taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And ensuring that we have a good work-life balance. Sometimes we want to perform at work. We want to make sure that everyone is all right or everything is going well, much to the detriment of our health. And I would repeat that if we are not, if we are not there today, someone would replace us and still get the job done. So that's my plea to my fellow engineers.
Yeah, it's very
Engineer Dakwa wants to still ask a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, my question is, do stress only come out of overworking, spending enough time, too much time than you are supposed to spend at work or on project or stuff? Does it mostly relate to spending more than enough time you're supposed to spend, or it comes in the form of overthinking or overdoing something? Is it related to only work, or it has connection with other areas?
I believe it's not just work, it's other areas. Sometimes stress is self-induced. What is it I am telling myself? So what I'm telling myself might not be accurate, but I believe that so much is forcing me to do something that goes beyond my natural ability to cope. So anything that pushes you beyond your natural ability to cope is stress. So it can come in whatever form or shape. Does that help, Engineer Richard?
Yes, I'm all right with it.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? Okay, before we go, would you guys?
Hello, madam.
Yes,
Hello,
Engineer.
madam.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You said natural ability. And
Yes.
in my thinking, natural ability may also have some relationship with aging.
Yeah.
So that means for layman thinking, I would say stress may have some relationship with
Relationship
aging.
with aging, yes.
Yes,
Oh, I thought we
please.
had already established that.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a combination of aging and your personality. Okay, because one thing, we may both be in our 50s, but one thing that will stress you may not necessarily stress me, and vice versa. Okay, so God has blessed me with multiple brothers. And one of them will go like, sister mommy, mama, what top pressure, my new papa. Oh." And because I describe my mom as an acquired taste. So she will say something and she's an old school teacher. So she expects everybody to run. It's like, but the old lady doesn't realize that things have changed. And 10 years ago, they couldn't express these things to her. But now it's like, oh no, grandma, no, this is too stressful. I can't do it now. So again, that whole thing of either I am internalizing more and so I get more stressful with age, or I've become older and I've seen life, so now I can't be bothered. Okay, so it can go either way. It can go in. Engineer Ibiro, will it be okay to give your people a link to evaluate our seminar or workshop?
Oh, yes.
I've started evaluating my own work just to figure out if what I need to do to become better. So I would really appreciate you guys and it's anonymous, so you can be as honest as you're comfortable being, okay? Just to figure out if I have to do this again for engineers, what do I need to do differently? What do I need to maintain? But I think so far, so good. We've talked about burnout, we've talked about self-care, some of the things we do in the workplace that are not always so helpful, and some of the resources we can put in place to help our own work, to help make sure that we are taking good care of ourselves and our family so that we can live longer and enjoy the life that God has given us. It's been a joy spending this evening with you. I hand everything over to Engineer Ibiro. I'm done.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. We would like to thank you for sharing a lot with us. I think the webinar has been as insightful as it was promised. I have learned a lot, and I'm sure every one of us here has learned a lot too. I have learned the symptoms of burnout. I have learned some of the factors that could generate it. And most of all, most importantly, I have learned how to take care of myself. And I think I'm going to practice particularly the boxed breathing,
Yeah.
especially when I am very tired and I need to go to sleep. On this note, I'd like to thank you, Prof, for sharing your time and expertise with us. We will definitely have another time I think the next time we'll probably be talking about mental health.
Yeah.
So you may
Or we
want
could
to
just
prepare.
talk about emotional intelligence, because it helps us know who we really are and how to survive the people we work with.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So I would also like to thank my colleagues for spending the time with us this evening. I believe that we have all learned a lot. I'm just praying and encouraging all of us to at least take cue from what it is that we've discussed and take good care of ourselves. We need each other. I need you to be in your workplaces, and I need you to be in our meetings too. And more importantly, I need you to spend a lot more time with your families in good health. So on this note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. And yes,
please, next time shouldn't be at the point you have Champions League, so that we can also have some stress
I
release.
now get
Thank you,
it.
sir.
I now get I now get it. I now get it. But this meeting was fixed before the Champions League, I think. Or it's the other way around.
There's soccer. Sorry.
I see. So I now get it. I now get it. Thank you very much for the thank you very much for the tip. Next time I'll make sure there's no Champions League. But kudos to Arsenal fans, and better luck next time to Real Madrid fans. Yes. I don't know who is playing tonight, but kudos to all of you. I hope the better team wins. Better team wins. My team, as always, remains the Black Stars of Ghana. So from me to you,
you have
God
to remember to give us closing prayer.
Evening. Yes. Let's have a volunteer. Felix. Yes.
Felix Aye.
Engineer Felix Aye. Kindly give us the closing prayer.
Okay, let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you very much for this evening. Thank you for this webinar that we've had. Thank you very much for our resource person who has really enlightened us and taught us how to manage our stress and show us that, we really are worthy of quality time. I pray and thank you for her life, and I ask that you continue to bless her so that she can bless other people. Thank you for our members who joined, and we pray that next time when there is such a webinar, you will join in our numbers and be enlightened to your glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the matches. We'll be talking again soon.
I will send you the recording as soon as it's done, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.